Hey, what's up to everybody? This is the channel of Death is Not a Death Sentence. It is October the 6th, 2025. Coming to you on this Monday, trying to give someone some inspiration, some motivation, entertainment purposes only. Um, and just really, things has just really been like, on my heart and just really been thinking, for the last couple of days, I ain't really made no videos or anything. I just been kind of, thinking. And plus I'm got a little busy. So I want to talk about, well, what I want to talk about today, guys, I want to talk about, the uh, passing of, a mom and a dad, or, the mother or the father, or maybe both. I want to talk about that because I know, like, a lot of people is, heartbroken. I mean, when you lose a parent, it's very, very much heartbroken. You don't, you know, people don't really realize like what your mom or your dad, what they really mean to you until they're gone. I want to say something, and because you get a lot of young people and they sit up there and they think that their mom and dad is just going to be around forever, and they do these horrible things. They talk very disrespectful, and they do these crazy things to their parents, and they really don't realize that that their parents really are their number one cheerleaders. And so when you lose your loved one, or your mom or your father, you tend to look around. A lot of times you compare yourself to those who have their parents still, even though, you're not jealous or anything like that, but you tend to look around, you be like, dang, I wish I had my mom. Dang, I wish I had my dad. So you start looking at things that you used to didn't have to look for. You start looking at people that do have their mom and their dad, and you wish you could just hear their voice one more time, or call them one more time and get the advice that you need, and just maybe if you would have just listened, if you were a hard-headed person, didn't want to listen to your parents, and you just wish you just would have just listened. And you got all this guilt, and and all this, dang, I wish I could have just told them how much I care, how much I love them. And which you still can, because they hear you. All you have to do is talk to them. They hear you perfectly fine. And the ones that have not treated their parents very well, they forgive you. They love you, so you don't need to have guilt or anything like that. Like, oh my God, I was a horrible child. I was a horrible son. I was a horrible daughter. You know, um, they get it. They're over there on the other side. So they get it. They understand everything is enlightened, everything is opened up, so they don't hold you accountable for those type of things. They don't hold grudges, and they're not angry with you. They love you unconditionally. And also too, I want to talk about when your father goes, and it's like, man, he can't walk me down the aisle. My mom and my dad, they can't see their grandchildren grow up, and they don't, my children would never be able to get to know them, or they would never have the experiences that other people have, and their nanas or their papas or whatever. They would never get the chance to have that, right? But I will say this though, that your children will know who they are. Just keep showing them the pictures and the videos, and because we're in a day of age, we have videos and cell phones, and make sure they know them. Make sure they know them. They don't forget them. They know who they are, and that'll last them forever. Just make sure they know who they are. And if you are getting married and dad is not able, to walk you down the aisle, or mom is not there, then what you do is you just decorate the chair very beautiful, with a beautiful picture of them, and put them a chair right there by you. And they're there. Give them a seat as well, because guess what? They're there. They're there. Even if you can't see them, they're there in spirit. So make sure you always put a seat for them as well. Um, a lot of times people like, goodness gracious, I'm this man, I'm this real strong man. And, I ain't got my dad to talk to give me some advice, and, and just, be able to talk to him, and listen to the knowledge that I can learn from him. And, and sometimes, a lot of times, men and women, we get angry because, we be like, oh my God, they had to leave us and now we're just left alone, and why they have to go, and all this other stuff. But it's not that they wanted to go. I don't think no one wants to die. But I just think that it was just their time to go. Everybody has a journey. And when the journey is over, then we leave. And unfortunately, that their journey was over. But they still here. They still see you. That feeling and that knot in your chest doesn't it doesn't go anywhere, because it's like, but I want them here with me. If they are here with you, they're just in spirit. And it's like a lot of times you be like, you don't know what I'm going through unless, you lost your parents and you lost, and a lot of times what you're supposed to belong to this, dead parents club, or, dead mom club, or dead father's club. So no one can give you motivation. No one can give you advice. No one can tell you anything. I think I'm a firm believer that, a person that doesn't have kids shouldn't be writing books telling people how to be parents. That's just my opinion. And I think on certain topics is this, like people passing on and things of that nature. I think that if you've been on the other side and you see all kind of people and things of that nature, I think it's a little different. Because, they're still around. Everybody is still around. Everybody is still connected, and then you're like, oh my gosh, I miss my mom cooking, or I miss my dad grilling. A lot of us, sometimes we didn't have a mom, and sometimes we didn't have a dad, or maybe we had a grandparent that took the mom place, like for parental rights, but you only got one biological mom, but maybe, you were adopted, and that's mom as well, and mom is mom, so mom, whether you adopted or not, that's still mom. And so, and maybe, your dad raised you, or maybe your granddad raised you, or whatever, right? They played a parental figure in your life that was always there for you. So those are the ones I'm talking about. I'm talking about them people that raised you, the people that, brought you up. Those are the people I'm talking about. It don't have to specifically be a biological mom or a biological dad. It could be an adopted mom or adopted dad or uncle that raised you, whoever raised you. I consider them as your parents. That's what you don't have to be biologically, to be a person parent. You just don't. I mean, it's the person that loves you, that's what I think of. Person who loves you, that raised you, and that was very kind to you. So, anyways, I want you to understand that always remember them. Always think of them. No, you're not in a club of, the no parents club. You in the club of learning to live without your parental mom and dad. You're in another club. And just because you're in that club doesn't mean that you have to just say, okay, I'm just worthless, I'm hopeless, there's no hope for me, I could look at everybody else, why me? You're not in a poor me club. You're just in a you're just a person that's just in a club that parents that just went to another journey, and now you just got to keep them valid. You got to make sure the pictures and the videos and the kiddos know. You got to make sure you always thinking good things about them, good memories, keeping their energy around you, and, and just, talk to them out loud, and, yeah. So don't think that you're hopeless, because you're not hopeless. It's just, they just went to another journey. That's all, but they're still around you. But anyway, I'm running out of time, guys. So I'm going to wrap this video up. And death is not a death sentence. Leave me a comment. I'll respond. Follow me. I'll follow you back. And I'm praying for everyone. God bless you. I'm praying for everybody healing. And I'll see you guys again. All right. Bye-bye.